goes down. Red lights are about to go on, and we're about to kick things off with Super600s here at the East London Grand Prix circuit. What a start there from Darren Binder. It's Cameron Peterson who goes along with him, and Stephen Odendahl is side by side, but just tucks in behind the Suzuki. The Suzuki is into turn one. Bottas pass in the lead, and the Indy Oil Suzuki has got the whole shot. Yeah. Coming down into Bottas, it's Indy Oil Suzuki from Stephen Odendahl on the PS Kawasaki, and the Tsunami race bike is up there as Odendahl takes the lead on the first lap into turn two.
Yeah, it's going to get ugly. Watch out for underbraking. A lot of guys have got a lot of momentum going here. A bit of a shake of the head there for Odendahl. Locked up the front end slightly, but the biggest mover off the gate there was Kershaw. He jumps up from the 5 spot into the 3 spot. Good on the brakes, stayed out of trouble. The second bunch is all about Scholzi, Cameron Peterson, and Shelley.
Shelley on the back end of Matthew Scholz as they come to the braking markers, and once again the lead changes up into turn 4. So through turn 2 we had a lead change, into turn 4 we've got a lead change, and expect more every single time these guys and girl get onto the brakes into any corner around the East London Grand Prix circuit. There are 5 bikes slightly pulling away from 6th and 7th place there. And Anthony Shelley with a big moment heading into the sweep. That might cost him a little bit of time.
That's what I was talking about. It's lap number 1. It's the first time you crack it wide open coming out of the complex, and that's where the back end of the 74 broke loose.
Hard onto the braking markers up into Beacon Corner. Here we go. Matthew Scholz sneaks through. Cameron Peterson demoted down 1 position. So those 5 riders now trying to get away. And wow, what has Brad Binder put into that? I think a little bit of monster into the tank. And he is out of here. He is checking out and getting away from Odendahl.
Did you see Odendahl? He grabbed a little bit of dirt on the way out as well, so he is desperate to get himself up there. Scholz is on a mission. The bike looks a little bit loose to me, but that's the way he likes to ride it. But Kershaw is in a good position. Oh, man!
Peterson on the dirt out of Bottas.
Woo! He literally went all the way off. The back end wagged, the front end wagged, and he managed to keep it hooked up. So he's going to be fired up. There is going to be adrenaline pouring through that system in that kid, and he's going to have to just take a breath for a while.
Well, I can tell you, Cameron Peterson put Monster on his cereal this morning, and Dean Foss is coming along for the ride too. But check who's behind Dean Foss. It's not Shelley, it's Blaze Baker. Baker, after a massive crash yesterday, is now absolutely hauling around here and has slowly but surely got into that bunch that he failed to get into in Cape Town.
And looking at the timing sheets, no jumpers as well, but Nicole van Asperken got beat up off the start line there. Looked like she had a good gate, but she got forced out wide on the outside of Potters, on the outside of Rifle, and she finds herself running around in 10th place. We are seeing a breakaway right now, Greg.
Incredible stuff here from the 2 riders out front, and slowly but surely opening up a little bit of a margin on Kershaw.
Oh, man.
And she might be blocking ever so slightly, and I think Scholz realizes that. Matthew Scholz sneaks through on the Mantella RSA Racing Kawasaki. He sneaks up into 3rd place, runs a little wide onto that rumble strip. That's going to cost him a little bit of drive, and the Tsunami race bike might come past. Let's keep an eye on whether or not Kershaw can capitalize on that slight mistake out of Matthew Scholz. On his tail, though, is Cameron Peterson, and into Bottas. Peterson is going to make a move.
That's the line. Here we go, up the inside, and we have seen that Cameron Peterson is able to do one of, if not the fastest laps by himself. He doesn't need a drag strip. He doesn't need to get towed along by the slipstream. But when he does get the tow, he can just go smoking on through. Dean Foss's teammate, on the other hand, has got some problems.
Now, Dean Foss is in the way of Blaze Baker and Anthony Shelley closing in on him. So the battle for 6th place is also raging as much as what we're seeing under the first 5 bikes. Those first 2 have got a small margin and advantage over Matthew Scholz. But now that Scholz has got to 3rd, he might be able to bring along, and in fact, don't even worry about that. Cameron Peterson saying, listen, if you don't get a move on, I'm coming through, and I'm going to take 3rd, and maybe we can use it and work together to catch the front 2.
I think we may have just seen the secret line appear there, because there was a chance that Cameron Peterson was going to keep the straight line going heading on into gate, and that is a pass that we only see coming out of truly great riders, as Scholzi is spinning that thing up. So Scholzi is spinning that thing up at this stage of the race. He may be in trouble, and that's why it's loose. Odendahl once again onto the front wheel. Man, he has got those forks working well, and the front end of that bike is hooked up. Odendahl is in a good position. He doesn't mind sitting on the back wheel of the Indy Oil Suzuki as long as it takes him away. Right now, the man on the mission is Scholz, and he is bringing Cameron Peterson with him. So what we were hoping for is going to come to the fore. We're going to have a 4-rider sprint pretty soon.
Let me confirm that exactly right, Matt. Cameron Peterson, fastest lap of that outing, a 1:21.7, a 1:21.8.
Here's a move.
22s out of the top 2 riders, and change up into, once again, Rifle Corner is all about Odendahl. Odendahl just using whatever anatomy required at that point of the circuit. but certainly gets to the front with no worries. And I think he realized the fact as he looked back down the back straightaway, the second Kawasaki and that Yamaha are coming. So he doesn't want anything between himself and his ability to get away.
Odendaal extremely comfortable and able to change up his lines. This is the line I was speaking about, the inside straight line run into gate. And that is a good place to start setting up and maybe doing a practice run towards the end of the race. We've got a change up going into the complex, and Binder's front end is all over the place. He doesn't look as confident on the brakes as the front end of the PS Kawasaki of Odendaal.
Amazing bit of riding here from our first four riders. Scholze was the fastest rider, as I said, with Cam Peterson with him. Those two now have closed up. So we've got all four riders very close, and now it's a four-way battle. Cam Peterson hangs on to the back end of Scholze. He's done it to perfection. He realized Scholze could probably bring him up there. He showed a wheel to say, get a move on, and that's exactly what Scholze did. So Cam Peterson, fastest rider on the last lap. Who's going to be quickest this time as they cross the stripe? Darren Binder with a 22.6, 22.5 out of Odendaal, 22.3 out of Scholze, and a 22.2 out of Cam Peterson. Four riders split by hardly anything. It's 0.6 of a second for the first four bikes on track.
I talked about Fossey getting left behind. He is getting beaten up now as well because Shelley has come through on Blaze Baker. Blaze Baker has lost out of position. And look at Cam Peterson climbing the inside of the curbs there. Looks like Scholze had a problem, ran it wide, and Scholze is going to go around the outside. He is offline at Cochabana, but watch this. When he gets on the gas, the back end of that bike wiggles and moves all over the place.
A big Fabian Ferre look back there from Stephen Odendaal. He is very concerned about the fact that the 120 Mantella RSA Kawasaki is all over the back of him. Looking for a way through and looking dangerous. They flick it over into the left hand. Big Cox left hand is there, and as they come out, wow, man alive, this is absolutely amazing stuff. As they come through Cox corner and now onto the right hander for the sweep. Scholze is looking very dangerous.
Yeah, he wants through, and this is going to be under brakes. Odendaal is super strong, but look at the drive that Scholze gets. It fans out. Watch out for the neon glow helmet to try and outbrake around the inside, outside. No, can't make up his mind, and he's going to get blocked out by Peterson now. He just could not make the decision.
Peterson went.
Whoa!
Cam Peterson with a massive high side.
That was
out
on
of the peak corner. Cam Peterson has gone down.
Inside line, tried to get a handful. He was trying to cover that line from Scholze. Tried to get on the gas a little bit too hard, and he's flicked it out, and that's right on the drive line for the riders coming up behind him.
Cam is very, very sore. It's not like him to not jump up immediately. Here you see him coming on the inside. He's got the line. He gets through on Scholze and then just climbs on the accelerator too much. The back end steps out, and it's, whoa, high side city. Oh, man, that is huge.
Yeah, he was
Outside,
also...
baby, population him.
Yeah, man, it's sore. He definitely took a hit. It's normally like the wind gets knocked out of you. We go back to the front end of the race, but that's a huge situation. And a huge change up in the championship now. Indy Oil Suzuki also starting to smoke that back wheel, so that has blown the pack wide open. All of the riders behind Cameron Peterson there had to react. Scholze had to react the most, and that's what's given this breakaway now. A change up once again. It's Odendaal and Binder, and Scholze is just going to take half a lap to recover, get back on the wheel. It's Kershaw now that moves up to the fourth spot.
Now Kershaw's up to fourth place and ahead of Dean Foss. Dean Foss is closing on him. And in fact, if we've still got a long way to go, man, it's only fifth lap completed, about to complete lap number 6. So still 10 laps to go. That's enough time for Kershaw and for Foss to close in on these three bikes. And by the looks of things, that's exactly what they're doing.
Watch the back end of the bike that runs in second place, the Suzuki, the Indy Oil colors of Binder. Out of all the corners, the right-hand corners particularly, it's spinning up, as is Scholze. So we may see them really battling. I haven't seen much movement happening on the front bike of Odendaal, but the tires are definitely starting to cry much earlier than we saw with the Super Inks.
Dean Foss with a 22.7, a 22.8 out of Nicholas Kershaw. But we're getting 23 deads down to 22 threes for the top three. So they've got to find about half a second more, man, if they're going to close things down on those first three bikes. Kershaw working with Dean Foss. Just behind them, and well, have a look and see at that little battle for 6th place. Yep. Baker, Shelley, and Nicole Van Osliffen. Awesome riding from them too.
And Baker has recovered as well because he was behind and swapping out the whole time. So that battle is unfortunately going to fall off the back wheel. Kershaw, he is stuck in no man's land. He's really going to have to battle his way through there. He's only locked on a 122, and to be fair, that's probably where he's going to stay. I don't think he's going to get closed down by the back end. But Scholze's back tire here on the left and the right. Watch the rider that runs in third place with the neon helmet. The back end of his bike is all over the place.
He certainly is battling to get the traction down. There we go. There's a good opportunity to see it. Actually, it was a lot better through there than what he has been in the past. Now he's onto the tailpiece and right up that exhaust pipe looking for a way through. Are we going to have Kawasaki's 1 and 2? Yes, we are. Oh, change up for second.
Front end
Don't climb on the accelerator too hard, though, and do a Cam Peterson on us there. Brilliant stuff from Scalzi, but it's now a lone fight between the Suzuki and the two Kawasaki's at the front.
Oh, this is great racing. They cross the stripe with 0.1 in between the front three. So this is going to be a wild one the whole way through. Inside line this time in Bottas is handled by the Suzuki, and it's all about Scalz. Scalz is changing up his line all the way through here. Scalz, for me, is the danger man in this group.
Well, I say he's the danger man. I have to agree with you, Matt. But more importantly is look at the power of that Suzuki out of the last turn. If he is in second place on the last turn, he's still got a chance of sneaking ahead and getting the win on the drive. Suzuki's been able to get out. Scalzi moved to second as they go into Copacabana. So a change up now for second place, and Woodendal tries to come straight back at him. Oh! Elbow to elbow.
Saw that one.
Bar, baby, going into gate corner.
Yeah, it looked like super glue there for a second there. I thought he was going to climb off and swap bikes, but that is going to slow down the pace. They've got to be so careful. If those two Kawasaki start infighting like that, they will not be able to go after Binder. But that's why they were both trying to grab the bit of road, because they are trying to claw him back.
Amazing stuff there, and as they head up towards Beacon Corner again. Matthew Scalz heading up to the top. Can we see him overtake? We're going to hang tight here as we go into this overtaking maneuver. Could there be a new lead? Oh, there's a new leader. Yes, indeed. Matthew Scalz hits the front and gets to the front end of the circuit. Here we go. Coming across, and Matthew Scalz is now going to lead things out for the first time across the line. That is a big change up there. Now we head down towards Potter's Pass, and as we head towards Potter's Pass, I believe we got Ricky Brest down in pit lane. She's managed to find out, Robbie Peterson to find out what went wrong. Oh, but a change up again. It's chopping and changing every time they get on the brakes. As I said, that Suzuki has got some grunt down the straight, but wow, that is awesome. 3x3 into Ruffle. Amazing stuff as they go 3x3 into Rifle, and here they come to Copacabana. Watch for outbraking now from Woodendal. Woodendal's on the inside. Can he get this all sorted out? No, he can't. Binder is better on the brakes into Copacabana, so it's Binder from Woodendal from Matthew Scalz, but that is not how it's going to end up. I don't want to put money on anybody, and check in the background. Those other two riders, Kershaw and Dean Foss, are closing things down.
Well, Scalz is the thinking man's racer there. He's keeping an eye, but we're going to go down to the pits right now to chat to Cameron Peterson's team.
Robbie, Cam was doing so well. He was top four. He was competing so well, and he's just gone down. Looks like right behind us. What happened? And do you think he's okay?
He looks okay. I think he took quite a big knock. Yeah, I just got a terrible start, and I think he's probably a bit desperate too quick, trying to go too quick too soon, you know. And it's racing. I know we say it a lot, but it really is. Yeah, just my concern is obviously that he's okay, and yeah, hopefully we get the bike ready for the next one.
All right. Well, good luck. Back to commentary.
Oh, thanks, Robbie Peterson and Ricky Brest down in pit lane. Yeah, must be a good concern. You can see Robbie Peterson is here helping out. Of course, the man who's in the fight for the front right now. In fact, where's Binder? Binder's down!
Binder has binded in the complex, so the bike was loose on the left-handers. It's now broken way too loose. We'll have to see if we actually got a shot of what happened.
Look where the bike's
but it's
ended
gone
up.
all the way over, so that's a huge high side coming into the set of left-handers. They were pushing way too hard, and that thing is bent like a pretzel.
Dude, unfortunately, that's Darren Binder out again. This man is just not having any luck whatsoever. He's in the hunt, he's in the fight, he's leading races, he's doing everything right, he's just not finishing them. So the only thing he's not getting right on the day is actually finishing the race without putting the bike down somewhere around the circuit.
So look what has happened now. There was a breakaway three-way split, and now it is a two-way split, and the other guys are closing things down.
So here they come in. This is an opportunity to have a look and see what happened with Darren Binder as our riders come down. You can see there he is. Oh, wow. Binder is, here he comes into the complex. Have a look and see. He comes in, he's hard braking, he's on the outside line. He turns in just ahead of Stephen Woodendal.
This is where it's going to happen.
He flicks it over, hang tight. Oh, it's a low side. We thought it was a high side, it's actually a low side. He goes down, the bike just ends up and nearly takes out some of the spectators there. Well, you want an entertainment, that's the kind of entertainment we bring you on Super GP.
So the low side being the front end broke away, and that is how the crash happened. It just blew things wide open. Not only is he out of this race, but there is very little chance of that bike getting built once again for the second heat.
Unbelievable stuff here, and what a change up.
I know.
The champion is down, the pole man is down. It's now up to one of these four to go and get on the podium.
And Dean Foss has climbed the ladder. I almost wrote him off at the beginning of this race because he was really battling to get himself into the groove. Middle of the race, he bangs the groove, gets up on the back wheel of Kershaw, goes around Kershaw. He's in the 3 spot out of qualifying in 6th place. So the 49 is on the fly.
As always, Super 600s do not fail to give us great entertainment. Wow, absolutely awesome. Now they head down the beach straight. It is a new leader Look at how this man is pushing. It looks like we've got Ricky Brest down in pit lane with Trevor Binder. That's the dad of Darren. Let's find out what went wrong. Ricky.
Darren was on pole yesterday, and now he's down, so he's out of the competition. So what happened?
Well, I don't know. They fell in the back section somewhere, so I've no clue what actually took place.
Are you going to get him back up for the next race?
If the bike's fixable, definitely.
Okay, well, let's hope so. Back to you, Greg.
Thanks, Ricky. Good running down there, but here we go. That was it. The front end tucked back, and that just flew across. The big damage didn't happen on the initial impact, but when it hit the tires and did the flick-flack over, that has probably bent that frame, and the bike is completely in the bin, leaving it at a three-way split. So we've lost our pole man. We've lost the man that qualified in the 2 spot. It's blown everything wide open.
Yeah, and we've also got the man who, of course, is our current champion out of it too, Cam Peterson. Peterson and Binder out of it. The race is not done yet, though, Matt. Having a look, and we've completed 11 laps. They're on to lap 12, so we're basically into the last quarter of this race. And it is Matthew Scholz who leads things out. Odendaal sitting right behind him comfortably. But if he looks in his rearview mirror, I wouldn't be too comfortable, because Dean Foss is slowly but surely reeling them in. He's got the sardine on the end, and he is just pulling them back big time into the great white mouth there. I can tell you it's going to be a 4-way battle for these last 4 laps.
He just looks so comfortable, and that section of the track where Foss is the best is where we are heading now. Doesn't seem to have the super top end, but the power and speed he's able to carry through gate and into the coxes, he just flies through there. This is where he really makes up a lot of time. Gets a good drive on the left-hand side of the bike, and that is the cold part of the tire, and Odendaal has really got a problem there. Scholz has started to stretch things out. We've got a bit of a problem here. Scholz has got the biggest gap we've seen so far this race. That is 0.4 of a second.
Yeah, he's been able to pull a little bit of a margin, but on the brakes, Stephen Odendaal is extremely good. Remember, Stephen Odendaal is coming back from a podium in the Spanish Moto2 last weekend. So on a high, ready to rock and roll. It's Father's Day. His dad, Derek, is in the house, as is Matthew Scholz's dad. Well, look out for some serious action between these top 4 over the next 4 laps.
Trying to look down and see how many laps on our board. It looks like 4 laps remaining, and Foss will be counting them off, but we're trying to figure things out right now. Kershaw is trying to do the best he can. Look at that wide line from Fossey. He got forced out there. They're going to be running down as Foss goes around the outside of Rifle. I'm pulling my elbows in for him.
Yeah, elbows are pulling everything in there, dude. Wow, there was nothing in between those two. It's cars 1, 2, and 3 now. Kawasaki mounted riders in the first 3 positions, and the Yamaha, the lone Yamaha of Dean Foss. Dean the Machine is going to have to put some serious pace into these last 4 laps if he wants to run and catch onto the back end. In fact, he's lost a little bit of ground there to Kershaw. Maybe that incident through Rifle just rattled him ever so slightly.
Looking at the numbers, looking at the pages, Kershaw was qualifying in a 5 spot. He probably had written off a podium because there were such big players.
Whoa,
and
man!
Scholz, I watched it, man. Scholz is all over the place. I've said the back end of that bike is loose. We may yet see more incidents. I think that's why we're seeing Stephen Odendaal roll off. He's saving his tires.
He's saving his tires to get him through these last 4 laps. The Pirelli rubber on these bikes is crying out big time here. They have pushed it to the limit. And how much more can it take? Onto the brakes. Oh, Supermoto slide in there.
Odendaal has got the drift on. He's trying to carry a little bit more mid-corner, trying to not have to rely on the bang-in drive of the power of the Kawasaki. And the 2 Kawasaki's are stretching it away. It is another Kawasaki in 3rd place, but it's a race of 2 men out front.
Yeah, it's 2 men out front that are fighting on Kawasaki's. One is Mantella and RSA sponsored. The other one is Portable Shade sponsored as they head down towards Rifle Corner. Those 2 are split by nothing. You cannot see a gap between the 2 riders. There's a big margin now down to Kershaw. Kershaw is probably the more hungry of those 2 riders for 3rd and 4th, due to the fact that Dean Foss has already had a podium this season. So let's keep an eye on whether we're going to see another one out of Foss, or is Kershaw going to hold him at bay?
Oh, it looks wild. I mean, both those guys are leading the race at the moment, Scholz and Odendaal. They're so hard on the brakes, and especially the 120 bike. It's so loose on the brakes, and Foss has definitely lost the toe here. Foss lost his confidence last time when he got pushed wide coming out of Rifle, and that's where he has lost all his confidence. But once again, here's the section of the track where Scholz is a madman, and he is trying to break the toe, and he's trying to get clear air. He wants a clean half second between himself and the man behind him.
Oh, he might be just at that margin right now, but watch Odendaal on the brakes. He is extremely good. He knows he's going to have to start setting things up if he wants to take the win, and that's what he's doing. As I said, wow. Talk about late braking. when that back end steps up and it gets into a nose wheelie into Beacon, you know how hard you're breaking on a Kawasaki.
Look how much body language Scotts is using as well to try and stand the bike up and get himself flying again. They cross the stripe with 2 laps remaining. But let's talk about the guys sitting a little bit further back, because it is going to be a 2-horse race for first and second and for third. Voss seems to have recovered. He's sitting in the 4th spot right now. Blaze Baker, incredibly enough, is staying ahead of Shelley.
He's keeping Shelley out right now. And remember, Blaze Baker's the guy who had a big crash yesterday, so they had to rebuild his bike overnight. They've done that. Here comes Voss on the inside for Kokobana.
Setting up.
The Yamaha on the inside, not quite close enough, but just showing the wheel, maybe for the next lap.
Yeah,
remember,
setting
we've got
that
a lap and a half to go as they get onto the beach straight. So it's now Dean Voss and Kershaw for 3rd and 4th. 1 and 2 is Scholz and Odendahl.
I think where the power is coming in for that Yamaha R6 is where he is spinning the rubber. He's having to rely on a lot of mid-corner speed. He cannot just stomp it out of the turns and get on the gas. But watch Scholzi again. This is where he has been impressing me the whole way through the weekend. It's moving around all over the place. He runs it loose, but he doesn't seem to mind. It's there on the turnover. This is where Odendahl really starts building pace, and every single time into Beacon turn, he has put the bike up on the nose. Greg, we're coming in at lappers.
Incoming Kevin Redmond. Here comes the leaders, dude. You might be caught on the last lap. That's a big pity for the young man. He's really worked hard and he's having a good outing here so far. But we are going into the final lap. 1 lap to go now as they cross the line. Redmond is going to be into play. There's no doubt about it. L1 on the 4-4 board there. And it's now or never time. Check out Odendahl in the slipstream. He pulls out. Can he go around the outside of Potters? That's going to take some doing.
Yes, he can.
Oh my goodness!
He just
around the outside of Potters pass.
He just rolled it off, got back on the gas, and he has definitely committed to this one. He's going to carry so much more momentum through Rifle and be able to brake without having to block at Kokobana. But oh my goodness, they are coming onto the lapper at the worst moment possible. They both have to dive in, and Scholz gets blocked.
Scholz gets blocked ever so slightly, but Redmond fortunately just saw the right hand arm of his inside and sat up. So that allowed Scholz to then roll back onto it.
Look at that line.
Not too far behind. Look at this. Coming in a gate corner. He's in the slipstream. There's a good possibility we see an overtaking maneuver. Not here, but at Beacon. Stand by Beacon.
Odendahl covered that line coming out of Kokobana, heading into Beacon, almost climbed onto the dirt, so he didn't have to defend that line. The one I was talking about at the beginning of the show, where you can pass straight line going into gate. Now we are going all at it. The kings of the late breaks are going to be flying into the last turn together. They come out of the sweep. We're heading to the final turn. Odendahl goes all the way to the inside. Scholz is going to go wide and go for the cutback.
It's drag race city time now, as Brandon Nass has taught Odendahl how to drag a bike off the line. Here we go to the checkered flag.
Scholz is blocked.
Scholz has run off.
Scholz gets blocked out.
He ran a little bit wide. That's it. He's not going to catch him.
No.
Odendahl's got it.
Odendahl did.
Shane Kawasaki takes the win.
And Voss comes through for the final position on the podium, so Kershaw got beat out there. But what a clever last lap from Odendahl.
Absolutely amazing stuff out of these guys. Odendahl, just to perfection in terms of timing, takes the win over Matthew Scholz. So it's Kawasaki's 1 and 2. Yamaha comes through for 3rd place. Dean Voss, where you found that was into Beacon corner, sneaking through there on Kershaw on the Tsunami race bike rentals machine and winning things out for the podium.
Quick lineup.
Oh, here we go.
Scholz jumps.
Start from Scholzi.
Scholz jumps, and that is going to blow this race all over the place, because that was a confirmed jump start there. Doesn't matter that he stopped. His wheel moved past the starting blocks, and everyone else has reacted. We'll have to wait until they come across the stripe for the first time to see who else actually reacted and made the jump. But it was 100% Matty Scholz who's going to get slapped with a 30-seconder.
Yeah, I can tell you there was a big conflab between the MSA officials there. Wally Pappas, Dick Shuttle, Sean Cronin, and they're all confirming and shaking heads saying, yeah, definitely. Let's wait and see when they get up here if that's the case. But from our point of view, there is no doubt about it. Matthew Scholz off the line way before the lights went out. Now, looking to sort things out as they come down the beach straight. 2nd place is Shelley on the tail of Stephen Odendahl. Kershaw trying to hang on to 3rd. Scholz trying to come and make up some ground to sneak through for that 3rd place. Has the door firmly shut by the Tsunami Beach Bar race bike rentals machine as he comes into the complex. A little bit of a sit up there from Matthew Scholz. Behind him, looks like that's going to be Dean Voss, first of the Yamahas and the only Yamaha out there right now, as they flick it over on the right hand side and start to sort things out.
Yeah, Dean Voss and Blaze Baker. Nothing is clear at the moment except for the man that is leading things out, the pocket rocket, Stephen Odendahl. But Shelley seems to have woken himself up this time around for heat number 2. but look how comfortable Kershaw is looking. They're going to come across the stripe, and when they come across the stripe, as soon as the MSA officials give the nod, we will start a free fall down the scoring sheets, and Matty Scholz will be the man on that mission.
Lead change coming up here, Matt, to jump in. It looks like Shelley got great drive, got the slipstream and slots up. Or does he? No, he doesn't. Around the outside of Potters again, exactly what we saw in race number 1. Stephen Udall just hangs onto that outside line, and Shelley has to just tuck in behind him.
Yep. It is a 4-way rider split that is leaking and eking out a lead here. Dean Foss once again heads up the freight train, leading the charge at the back. And look at Kershaw. Kershaw wants to make a move too, into the 2 spot. So Scholz, we're still waiting for the free fall. We haven't had a decision made on that, but it is coming. Great start from Michael White as well. Look at him. He's just on the back wheel of Baker.
Yes, indeed. Magic Mike's in the house.
That's what he needed.
Over the back of Blaze Baker and trying to close things down here. Changes up and looks like Shelley's been demoted down 1 position. He hangs on for the second place, or the third place I should say, but in the second position he was fighting for. Scholz nearly snuck up on his inside. Look at the wide line out of Shelley coming through there. The Furcore Engineering bike just hanging on for dear life. Trying to keep up.
I like that line of Shelley's. You may feel like you're opening the door, but you get an insane drive onto the short straight, and we've got a rider at the back there, the 64, and that's Dylan Barnard. I saw him coming out of Cochabana on the first lap, almost sat up, not in a race position, and he's just moved off the line there. That thing is not firing at all.
Parked on the inside of Beacon Corner, so not a long walk for him to get that bike back into pit lane. Maybe you'll be able to get it back and get it sorted out and get back on track, but as they cross the line for the second time now, looking at lap times, 23s from all of our top 4 riders.
And checking Michael White there. He's coming up and he's made a pass on Blaze Baker. He is now going to be sitting on the back wheel of Foss. That's a high run for Mike White, and he's going to do some big learning now. He does the follow me.
Think and follow me. Come on, Blaze. Let's work together. Let's go and catch Dean Foss. Oh, Dino, keep your eyes and ears open, buddy, because the 2 youngsters on your tail are extremely hungry and looking for an opportunity to get to the sprint pack.
He did a follow me into Potters.
It's incredible stuff.
The kid's nuts.
Oh, Magic Mike is why we call him Magic
Watch
Mike.
out
He comes
for
up
the
with some of that
58.
stuff.
The 58 has pulls his socks up, coming off a 10th place. Fastest lap time coming out of him, a 1:23.5. That's about to change.
I remember Michael White also joining Keegan Vessels and Jason Vessels as part of the CIV build team, and it looks like he's enjoying building his confidence heading into this round. It certainly got better and better through the day. He wasn't quite in the pack or in the hunt in race 1, but he's certainly there now. And if he can work together with those other 2 riders, and that's exactly what he's telling Blaze and Dean to do. The thing that came with me was, we've got to work together. You've got to use slipstreaming, you've got to use late braking, you've got to get up there to be with these 3 riders fighting for first.
Oh, look at this dice here. Scholz getting physical, climbing all over, banging and bashing his way through the inside of Kershaw as we see a yellow flag. What was that yellow flag for?
Yellow flag, I think, is still for Dylan Barnard, parked on the inside there, so they're just warning that there should be no overtaking. And in fact, if that yellow flag was waving, that was an overtake under yellow from Matthew Scholz.
I
don't want to call that, but if the yellow flag is out there, that was under yellow that Matthew Scholz just passed.
We'll wait for that, because I think that may have just been a wrong slotted yellow. Just the marshal waving without any kind of reason as to why, and we see a wiggle of the tail, and Scholz moved up and he is sliding his way up there. But let's look at the score sheets, because Matty Scholz is carrying that can. He's the only man. We saw it. It's confirmation. Jump start from Matty Scholz slots him down into an accrued 8th position.
Now, so he'll be in 8th place, even though he's leading the race right now with that 30-second penalty. But he'll still fight things out here with Udendal and go for the victory. Victory on the day, and of course victory on the screen, is going to be more important to him right now than having to sort out an issue with a jump start. It was a definite jump start. Now Shelley with some pressure coming from behind, and the pressure is being forced big time there by Michael White, Dean Foss, and wow, look at that. Blaze Baker. Whoa! Baker with a big moment out of the sweep. Nearly coming off the motorcycle, got a little bit of a twitch, and it nearly threw him right up the back.
Would you look at Michael White? He went up the inside of Shelley. I know. Oh, man down! Scholz is down! So the man who's carrying a 30-second penalty, he's gone down. It's the curse of the jump start. The same thing happened to Janine, and she threw it down while she was pushing, trying to get back that deficit that she lost from the jump start. I was talking about high-fiving Michael White. Obviously, he changed up his gearing, but what a turnaround for this championship and this event. Scholz extremely frustrated, firstly with the jump start, then this. What do I have to do?
Yeah, the air is blue down at Beacon, that is for sure. Not a happy camper whatsoever. Here we go, change up for the lead though. Kershaw says, okay, well, if you actually want to play, I'll take the lead, thank you very much.
Yeah, so here we go. Let's catch ourselves up and catch our breath. In the last 2 laps, we've seen massive changes. Scott gets the jump start penalty, slots down. Then as he's trying to close things down, coming out of Beacon, throws it down by himself and he's off. He's walked away from his bike. He will not be finishing this race. That throws the second place at the moment on the day wide open. It's Kershaw that leads things out over Odendahl. Shelley is there in third. Fourth place was Michael White. It's now Fossey.
I think it's due to the fact that Matthew Scott had gone down. They all had to take evasive action. They'll just reshuffle that back slightly. Michael White, Anthony Shelley, Dean Foss still in it, as is Blaze Baker, even though he's just on the back end of the spot. Now they come up into the braking markers. This is where a lot of action has happened here today, and Dean Foss just makes more action into Beacon Corner. This time though, yeah, a little bit better than what Cam Peters was able to get through there on that overtaking maneuver.
This is going to stay this way. We are not going to see a splintered pack. As long as everyone keeps a clean lap and stays this close, they're going to drag each other along. It's obvious that Kershaw, and I think all of the riders, have certainly found something extra going into the second heat. It's all about the win because they're not getting a massive advantage. They're getting blown and pushed all over the place. Even Fossey is getting pushed offline, but they've definitely changed their gearing coming into this heat because we're seeing much better top speeds coming out of all these boys.
Yeah, absolutely amazing stuff. Now back down to Cocobana, and Matt, I'm just going to try and get confirmation from Dick Shuttle. Is Wally Puppas down there, one of the MSA officials, because right now that yellow flag has not stopped waving for the last 4 laps, dude. Every time a motorcycle comes in there, it's still waving for whatever reason, and I think it's due to the fact that there's a bike on the inside. However, that bike is now being moved. It's been pulled out now, but previously on that overtaking maneuver for Dean Foss, yellow flag was waving.
Yeah, I saw that. So I think it's getting pulled out. Right now, freight train is up and running, and the captain is all about. Yeah, it looks like we might be able to go and chat with Matty Scott down in the pits. We'll wait for a lineup down there, but we are going to be able to go down to the pits shortly and get a reaction from Scotty.
All right, they're coming into Beacon now. There's no yellow flag this time. However, Matt, I have to confirm, on the last lap, we had a yellow flag as Dean Foss went up the inside and overtaken. But down in pit lane now, as our riders cross the line, we've managed to get a hold of Matthew Scott to find out what went wrong. Ricky, you're down there with Matthew.
Matthew, you had a bit of a dodgy start. What actually happened? What made you come off?
I think that the wind pushed the front end a little bit, and then I tried to compensate by putting the gas a little bit earlier, and then the rear just spun around, and then I half-sided. I'm really sorry to my team. Yeah, hopefully the next National 1P we can come back stronger.
Okay, are you at least alright?
No, I'm fine.
Alright, good. Well, good luck. See you next time. Back to commentary.
Yeah, thanks. A good hustle down there in the pits to catch up with that down rider. It's a change up in the championship, and it looks like Scotty is not beaten up, but he's beating himself up badly for that one.
Yeah, I think just a small mistake, but it's kind of what we expected with all this big win, Matt. Unfortunately, even with a big rider like Matthew Scott, one of the biggest riders in this particular pack, it's not easy to maintain control of these bikes with gusts of wind coming up all the time and probably a good 30-40 k/h wind out there right now.
This is good conditions for a rider like Kershaw, and I'm tagging him for this particularly because he's one of those riders that seems to be able to ride around conditions. Doesn't get phased, doesn't have to lock himself into that perfect setup, can ride a bike loose or worn, or it doesn't matter what it is. He just likes the changeable conditions, and he'll be able to lock it down there. Odendahl is becoming that rider with the experience he's got. Fossey as well, the same story. Blaze Baker is now becoming one of the main men here, and unfortunately we look like we might be losing Michael White. Whitey is just fallen off the back end of this freight train, and if he's not able to close things down in the next lap, he will never recover from that one. So Whitey, even though he's lapping on a 122.8, the previous lap a 123, he's not going to be able to get back into the 122 bracket, and that's going to see him fall off and not be able to get back onto the freight train. Out front, it's all about the charge, because it's this time of the race where we see Dean Foss start to come to life. He's in third place right now, working on his own game, trying to join the party out front. The second dice is all about Shelley. But watch Blaze Baker, Greg. Blaze Baker's bike is wagging loose.
You think? There's no doubt about that. I think it's kind of what we saw the whole of yesterday. It's one of the reasons he actually went into the complex, went grass tracking there. He ended up crashing down, I think, at Cochabana corner. But just getting confirmation from the COC, it was an incorrect yellow flag, so we don't have to worry about it in the end. It was actually out for the previous lap due to, of course, the incident with Scully.
Yeah.
But then, of course, I queried it with Dick, and he said to me, no, don't worry about it. It's all good. We're good to go. We play on as per.
Yeah, once again, as per usual, watching Blaze Baker's bike wiggle coming out of the corners. He has a big wiggle under power. That, for me, almost tells me that the back end's a little bit too soft, or he's losing pressure in the back tire. The big climber on the charts here. Let's talk about Foss. He's joined the party. Look at this, here we go. Not only has Dean Foss joined the party, he almost jumped up the double, and we've seen him be able to do that. A couple of riders get themselves up. They get mad drive, and these Yamahas just get it done. He moves up into the 2 spot, but he very nearly moved all the way through. He cut a great hole through the air. Kershaw has been sent back 2 positions, and here we go. Odendaal leads out over Foss. Foss fancies his chances here.
I think Foss is looking for a win here, but there's no doubt about it. I think he wants to give the team a bit of a heads up and a bit of a confidence booster heading into the next round after losing Cam Peterson in race 1. Dean Foss got on the podium. He's in a podium spot right now, and he just hit a high climber. Is it Duran with Wild Boys? Because that's exactly what we're seeing right now.
That's exactly what it is. It's all about the maneuver. You know, we don't see great starts coming out of Foss this season for some reason. I don't know what it is, but he seems confident to not have to kill the bike in the first 2 laps. He builds nicely. He knows everyone's going to be finding their own feet as well. And all of a sudden, in 2 laps, he becomes a podium, sometimes a race win contender. In the background, still all about Shelley and Blaze Baker. A little bit of movement there from Odendaal as he geared it down into Beacon.
Oh, Blaze Baker going to be hanging on to the back end of this battle and hoping that they can come up. You can see Dylan Barnard has been able to get back on track. Or is that Kevin Redmond? It might be Redmond that they're coming up on. That's why you see it's one of the white bikes. And until we get past him, I'm not quite sure because we only saw the back end of him. No, that is the 6'4 bike. That's the 64 bike of Dylan Barnard. So
rolling out of the pits.
Must be coming back out of pit lane, but he did make the whole straight, so maybe he's just taking a lap just to sort that bike out. Anyway, let's not worry about that too much because at the front end, that's where things are changing up. Blaze Baker hanging on, trying to keep Anthony Shelley down as they go through Rifle and now head towards Cochabana. Shelley's on the right side. Can he go the outbraking maneuver? Blaze Baker, putting out the Rossi style foot there. Oh, but look at Shelley around the outside. Absolutely amazing stuff.
And
he's going to run wide and he keeps it upright.
He gets it wound up. The thing was wagging all over the place. He had to get on the gas early to make that maneuver benefit, and he is absolutely pinned out there. But Blaze Baker seems to have the ponies and the confidence in his bike to get himself back up there. These two will be chopping and changing. They're going to now fall off the pace of the 3 leaders. But Mikey White, Magic Mike, may be able to come back into this one because the last 3 laps he's fallen off the back.
Okay, so we're heading into completing lap number 10 here, man, as they get to the top at Beacon. And this is where things might start to change up with 6 laps to go. The 3 leaders are pulled away from that second battle, which is, of course, now Blaze Baker and Shelley. There they are. Magic Mike just off the back end. Shelley trying to close things down. Shelley keeps his foot on the pegs. Blaze Baker going very, very Rossi style into there with a big foot out into Beacon corner. And now crossing the line. Look at that. Dean Foss is up the exhaust pipe of that portable shade Kawasaki looking for a way past. And the ITR equipped Yamaha is certainly looking good.
These guys are matched very equally. Look at the mid-corner speed there. Foss doesn't mind hanging that thing. He'll lay a black line the whole way around there. He'll keep the gas on. And it's Odendaal, who has always been the strongest so far today, going through Rifle. But on the brakes, Fossey is going to be good, and he is just playing the game now. He's done all the hard work. He's got onto the back wheel, and we still have 6 laps remaining in the second heat of the Super 600s. And round 4 of the Monster Energy Super GP Champions Trophy here at East London. The good news is we've still got a race on our hands. Kershaw has fallen off the back wheel. It's a 2-horse race out front.
I'm just trying to pick up on the fact that Blaze Baker's fallen by the wayside on our timing monitor, but if I can, I just want to see if we can pick him up on the screen. So we're looking out for Blaze Baker. He's definitely slowly but surely fallen by the wayside on top of the leaderboard in time-wise. There's Magic Mike. Yes, Baker is not there.
Baker missing in action,
Baker
so we'll have to
is
pick
missing.
up and see.
Not quite sure where he's got to, but Baker's not there. There he is.
Got a shot of him there. He's still
through,
on
so
the
he's
sheet,
definitely up there
so
with
we've got
Shelley.
a problem with the transponder there.
Transponder's not picking up. Blaze Baker sitting in 4th place at the moment on the
All right, here we go. Foss has got the line up the inside. We know Odendahl has been super strong the whole way around the outside. We go back and pick up on Blaze Baker, but we need to look at the front end because the race lead is about to change going through rifle range.
Good possibility that that transponder on Blaze's bike is not picking up on the timing, but he's still certainly there in 4th place. We can see it on our screens.
There's new leader.
New leader, of course, Dean Foss heading the front now. Can he keep Odendahl off his tail for another 4 laps? Wow, this is a great way to end the day's racing for Super 600s. And I can tell you it's not over yet, because if Blaze Baker and Shelley keep up the kind of pace they're doing right now, they are currently lapping in the 23s. Everybody else in front of them also in the 23s. So it's literally a battle of lap times. And we've only got, what, 5 laps to go? Well, 4.5 as they come through here.
Exactly that.
Nothing in it.
And watch Dean Foss as well, his riding style. He's actually got his bike set up a little bit extra hard, which means he's spinning on the way out of the corners. So I really enjoy the way he's riding. And we were watching the whole way through time practice, qualifying, everything like that. The Yamahas are able to do a great lap without having to benefit from the slipstream. There's Odendahl now, trying to get the move up the insides, get the job done as well. So everything is bunched back together. So there's nothing given, nothing gained. 1, 2, and 3 are still together. This is all good news for Kershaw because he's slightly bailed off the back wheel. Still the 3 group. Blaze Baker, though, is blazing a trail. Look at Foss. He just about clipped the dirt to try and get up the inside there. And Odendahl has been strong going into Potters the whole way through. Foss will be trying to think, where is a point on the track? Watch him through here. Rifle range, he drifts it the whole way through, stays on the gas, and then he will not dive on the brakes into this corner yet. It's too early.
Yeah, it's a little bit too early, as you said, Matt. 3.5 laps to go as they get onto the beach straight. Absolutely amazing stuff between these top 3 riders.
So close.
Kershaw's just hanging in there, praying something goes wrong. He's on the podium, and that's where he wants to be. He just missed out on the first race. Dean Foss pipping him to the line on the Yamaha. Dean Foss is still ahead of him, but Kershaw still has a chance of getting on the podium, and he doesn't want anything to go wrong to give both Blaze Baker and Anthony Shelley a chance or a sniff at that 3rd spot on the podium.
Yeah, Kershaw needs the points as well. He's desperate to get himself up there. Should be running a little bit higher up on paper, on the history that he can run. He's able to podium, and he should be able to run the similar kind of pace as Foss. Foss is up there and desperate to tie the knot and get a job done at the front page. He definitely wants to take a win here. He's running out of chances.
Kershaw did move up into 6th place in the championship after race number 1, so he's got some work to do. Magic Mike will also be in very close attendance to him, so it's between the 2 of them, and where Kershaw is right now will keep him in the hunt for that little bit of a maneuver up the championship points into possibly even the top 5 if he's able to finish in 3rd.
Well, Foss and Kershaw yet to take a victory on the 2014 season, so it's a big change up. The bad news that's happening right now as we head to the real thick end of this race is that Odendahl has the biggest gap that we have seen so far this race, and that gap is 0.3. Kershaw's through.
Kershaw through rifle at 250 k's an hour on a 600cc on about 3 inches of rubber. Makes the maneuver stick and goes to 2nd. Dean Foss had no answer there.
And comfortable on the brakes as well, so he didn't outbrake himself. He's still running good corner speed, and Foss, the back end is wagging. He's losing drive on the Yamaha R6 coming out of the corners.
Foster's lap on the previous one was actually out of Kershaw, so how he lost that, I'm not quite sure. Oh, look at that! What a move there from Dean Foss, sneaking through on Kershaw. Kershaw opened up the door, was about to pitch it in, and Foss was there. He had to sit it up.
It's that great line, the entry to gates. We spoke about it a couple of times. To line yourself up for that, you've got to be totally committed and know that you're going to make the rider on the outside if you sit up. It gets a little bit wild. We've seen riders go up onto the go-kart track, and it's like a supercross move section out there. You do not want to go there, do you, Blaze?
Oh, just take into account, more importantly than anything right now, as they come to Beacon and the braking marker. The last lap was a 23.3 from Odendahl. I think this is probably going to be one of his fastest laps in this race particularly, and he's opening up a comfortable margin. When I say comfortable, anything goes wrong or he makes a mistake, they are right there, and the difference now is half a second.
Yeah, it was 0.3, it's now 0.4, just under half a second, so Dean Foss has to get rid of Kershaw. They cannot be playing these games. They are going to give a half second, maybe 0.7 of a second advantage to Odendahl, and you don't have to ask Odendahl twice. Once again, Kershaw up the inside. This is killing their chances to go for the win.
The little fight between them is actually slowing them down, as you said, Matt, 100% right, and I think that's exactly what's going to be a contentious issue at the end of this race.
Yeah, we're looking at a battle for second place here, that's it.
Redmond pulls to the right-hand side. Kevin Redmond there, unfortunately, being lapped again, so not a great day for the youngster, but of course, we head to his hometown very, very soon. Let's keep an eye out whether he can keep it all together. Now, onto the braking markers, into gate. Around the outside this time, Dean Foss doesn't have to worry about trying to find a way through. He was already passed on the straight.
Yeah, he's got some good power as well. That bike is certainly delivering the goods. This is going to have to be a very good lap from Foss now. He has to have the perfect run. He's really got to join the party and the back wheel of Stephen Odendahl's bike right now. Otherwise, it ain't going to happen.
He's got to get onto that toe. He's got to try and get himself sucked in behind the portable shade Kawasaki. Late braking from the two riders behind Odendahl, and they have
Good
closed
close
on
up.
him.
Good close up.
Let's see if they can get the squirt. Oh, it looks like a little bit of an issue coming out there from the portable shade Kawasaki. It didn't get great drive.
Here
out of
we
Beacon
go.
corner, and now they are right within the grass. If they can get into the slipstream, Odendahl's in trouble.
Yeah, there is a slipstream. Dean Foss has got the tractor beams on. 1 lap remaining. But look at that. A hug line and then a sweeper. Dean Foss has got to do this one very cleverly. He needs to be right on the back wheel. This is going to go down to not brakes, but the pass and drive coming out of Kocabana. He has to be real close. He's not close enough yet. Not by my count. He needs to use that Dean Foss inside line to block off the cutback going into gate. This is what we need.
Into Kocabana. That's exactly what he's got. Look at that. He pulls probably another bike length on
Last
Odendahl,
lap.
just on the brakes and through the corner speed of the Yamaha. They go to the inside of the circuit, all trying to get away from the wind. That's not a bad option there from Odendahl, but Dean Foss is going to come. He's actually quicker than Odendahl into this particular sector, and he closes once again onto the back end of the portable shade Kawasaki. The MTech brother Yamaha is right in it and in with a chance.
We are running out of time rapidly here. A good left-hand setup here for Foss. Closes right up there. He's got to cut back and now work on the drive as he flips. Oh, mistake from Foss. He was driving as hard as he could. He almost spun the back wheel and got himself out of it. He got spat out the seat, but he lost the drive. The win is gone.
Odendahl's got it now. He doesn't have to worry about it. Unfortunately, Dean Foss just not close enough. You can see Kershaw's been conservative. He's pulled out of it and said, you know what, I'm getting a podium. That's what I want for my Tsunami Beach Bar race bike rentals machine, and that's exactly what he's going to get. Odendahl, the double of the day. Dean Foss in second place. A magnificent ride there from Nicholas Kershaw. Best ride of the season out of Blaze Baker, and the rookie award definitely going to go to Blaze Baker on that 5-1 bike. Super effort there, considering he had a massive crash yesterday. Fixed the bike, got it all sorted. He just missed the podium, and his best effort ever out there on, of course, the bike that is supported by multiple South African champion Russell Wood.
Foss did nothing wrong there. He had a real good drive. He pushed the front end of the MTech brother R6 Yamaha to the limit. On the Cox curves, the double left-handers in the complex, and on the way out, flipped it over. He knew he had to get massive drive going there, and he just almost flicked himself off the bike. Odendahl isn't making mistakes in this championship. He is allowing everyone else to do them for him. A solid third place for Nick Kershaw. He's going to move him up in championship points. A huge improvement for Mikey White, Magic Mike. He was running up there in 4th place in the early laps before he fell off the back wheel of the freight train. He still came home with a top 6 finish. The next group was off the back though. Nicole van Osbeken unable to lap any faster than a 1:24. Ricky Lee, we are just behind on a 1:26 fastest lap time in 8th place. Kevin Redmond stayed out there to get a finish and 9th place points. And Matty Scholz and Dylan Barnard having a pocket early on. Matty Scholz after 13 laps to go and 16 laps to go. Dylan Barnard